KARET TV proudly brings you another great episode of the Cottontail Club with our favorite hostesses, Auntie Cora and Auntie Flora.
Thank you and welcome. I'm Auntie Cora.
And I'm Auntie Flora. And this is our beautiful
Our studio, and thanks to our sponsor, Hills Carrot Juice. Hills, the only brand that guarantees you'll start your day the 24-karat way.
24 carats in a bottle? Do you ever wonder how they get 24 carats in a bottle?
You're not the only one who wonders sometimes, Auntie Flora. But just think of all the wonder that we put into our Cottontail Club show each week.
We couldn't do it without your devoted fans.
No, we couldn't. And today is no exception.
Without further ado, the Cottontail Club!
Carrot juice. Remember a time before all the hustle and bustle?
When a friendly hello preceded every handshake,
When your word was your bond?
and breakfast cereal was chock full of sugar and preservatives.
Yes, we do too. And while time has a way of changing most things for the better, the simple things have a way of sticking around.
Like Hills Carrot Juice.
Using the same farm fresh carrots from our family-owned farms, our juice is as sweet and nourishing today as it's always been.
So grab yourself a glass and raise it high to the simple things that make life worth living.
Hills Carrot Juice. Now available in regular and baby carrot varieties.
Last week's riddle was, why did the rabbit hop across the road? He didn't want to walk. This week's riddle is, why did the water fall?
Put your thinking caps on, and when you think you know the answer, write it down and send it to us here at the Cottontail Club show. Boston, Mass. 02134, and you could win a year's supply of Hills Carrot Juice.
And now over to the birthday corner. Do we have a birthday to celebrate, Sawyer?
We do. It's Kimberly Jones from Lauren Falls.
Happy birthday, Kimberly, and from all of us, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kimberly. Don't land in a stew.
Kimberly's going to receive a 24-karat cake from Ames Garden Patch Bakery.
Ames Garden Patch Bakery. Come one, come all. Come big, come small. Our brick oven baked breads bring balance to any breakfast. Our Baroque-style baguettes won't break the bank. Our biscuits make Triscuits a snack of the past. Whether you're sweet or salty, our malt barley muffins are better than nothing for breakfast or lunch or in holiday stuffing. Cookies, cakes, and confections galore. Come one, come all. We've got magic in store.
And if you're low carb or live gluten-free, our celiac special is certain to please. You've got no excuses. You've got no more reason to spend your dough elsewhere. We're good for all seasons. Give it a taste and your mind will be blown.
Because Ames Garden Patch Bakery is the best you've ever known.
Enjoy it, Kimberly. And may all your wishes come true. 24 carats.
Yes, and now it's time for fan mail, Auntie Flora.
How do the fans know which way to blow the mail?
I don't know, Auntie Flora, I don't know.
This one's for me. Dear Lily, you're always so kind. Could you send me an autographed bottle of Hill's carrot juice? Your biggest fan, Angora. Oh, why Angora, anything for you. Thanks for writing. Oh, look, I have one too. Dear Ella, I really dig your laugh. Would you like to go to the sock hop with me next week? Beverin, you rascally doe. I'll send you my digits.
Last, but definitely not least. Dear Sawyer, OMG, I love your hair. I hope no one ever tries to lock it off. If so, they'll have to answer to me. Hold on there, little buck. The Cottontail Club never condones violence.
No violence. It's not a very fun thing. I'll tell you what is fun. A little bit of rabbit trivia. Did you know that when we flick our hands and feet, it's called a binky? When you use language like that, it's a good thing you can jump 3 feet high and 10 feet long.
And have 360-degree vision because your eyes are on the sides of your head.
Cottontail Club members, remember what we're here for. Let's move on now, shall we?
Yes, it is story time.
Story time! What story are we telling today, Lily?
Why, the tale of Peter Rabbit, of course.
But to get us in the mood, we'll start with the song first. You guys all know Old MacDonald had a farm. Let's give it a little twist, shall we? Let's sing Old MacGregor had a farm. I'll start.
Okay.
Old MacGregor had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on this farm he had a chicken, E-I-E-I-O, with a cluck cluck here and a cluck cluck there, here a cluck, there a cluck, everywhere a cluck cluck. Old MacGregor had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Take it, Flora.
It's my turn. Old MacGregor had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on this farm he had a bluefish, E-I-E-I-O, with a here and a there, here, there, everywhere. Old MacGregor had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
Old MacGregor had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a rabbit, E-I-E-I-O, with a hop hop here and a hop hop there, here a hop, there a hop, everywhere a hop hop.
Old MacGregor had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits. Their names were Flopsy,
Mopsy.
Cottontail.
And Peter.
They all lived with their mother in a sandbank underneath the roots of a very big fir tree.
Now, my dears, you may go down a lane or into the fields, but don't go into Mr. MacGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there and was put into a pie by Mrs. MacGregor. Now, run along and don't get into any mischief. I am going out.
Then old Miss Rabbit took her bath and went down the lane. She bought a loaf of bread and 5 bucks. Flopsy
Mopsy.
and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down to the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. MacGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First, he ate some lettuce and some French beans. And then he ate some radishes. And then, feeling rather sick, he wanted to look for some parsley. But round the edge of the cucumber frame, whom should he meet but Mr. MacGregor? Mr. MacGregor was on his hands and knees, planting young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop thief!" Peter ran all over the garden. He was dreadfully frightened, but
He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages and the other amongst the potatoes. After he lost them, he ran faster on all fours than he might have gotten away altogether if he had not unfortunately got caught in a gooseberry net by the large buttons on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself for lost and shed big tears. Luckily, some friendly sparrows flew over him in excitement and implored him to exert himself.
Come on, Peter, you can do it! We believe in you! P-E-T-E-R! Mr. McGregor came up with a seed which he intended to pop upon the top of Peter. But Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him. He rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a watering can. It would have been a beautiful thing to hide from home, not so much water in it. Now, Miss McGregor was quite sure Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps even under a flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each. Presently, Peter sneezed. Achoo! Mr. McGregor was after him in no time, trying to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out a window. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor to see through, and he was tired of running after Peter, so he went back to work. Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright, and he had the least idea of which way to go. He was terribly damp with sitting in that can. After a while, he began to wander about, going lippity-lippity, not very fast, and looking around. He found a door in the wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath.
An old mouse was scurrying back and forth over the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. Peter asked her,
Excuse me, which way to the gate?
her mouth was full of peas and beans, so she couldn't answer. She only shook her head. Peter began to cry. Then he tried to find his way straight across Mr. McGregor's garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently, he came to a pond where Mr. McGregor filled his watering cans. A white cat sat staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still. Every once in a while, the tip of her tail twitched as if it were alive. Peter thought it best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard all about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin.
Peter headed back towards the tool shed, but suddenly he heard the noise of a hoe. He scuttered underneath some bushes. But presently, nothing happened. He came out, climbed upon the wheelbarrow. There was Mr. McGregor, pulling onions with his back towards Peter, but beyond him was the gate. Peter got off the wheelbarrow quietly and rushed toward the gate as fast as he could, going straight off the blackbird bushes.
Mr. McGregor got sight of him at the corner, but Peter did not care. He wriggled under the gate and was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and shoes as a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running or looked behind him until he got home to the big fir tree. When he got home, he was so tired that he lay down upon the nice soft sand at the bottom of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She'd wondered what he had done with his clothes. This was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in a fortnight. I am sorry to say that Peter was not very well during the evening. His mother made some chamomile tea and gave a dose of it to Peter.
1 tablespoonful to be taken at bedtime.
But
Flopsy
Mopsy
and Cottontail
had bread and milk and blackberries for supper.
The end. And that, my friends, takes us to the end of another Cottontail Club show.
Where does the time fly? Maybe it flies with the family.
Be kind. Bye. Have fun. Bye.
Don't be harebrained. Bye.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to drink your Hills carrot juice.
Don't miss the Cottontail Club with Auntie Cora, Auntie Flora, Sawyer, Lily, and Ella, airing every afternoon on KARET TV. Brought to you by Hills Carrot Juice and Ames Garden Patch Bakery.
Airing every day after Cavities in Candyland and the Calvin Coolidge Experience. Don't wait until tomorrow when you can catch it all today.